Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at some of these coins. We'll check out the top three. We're going to also look at another three which I'm pretty excited about. Been trading, whether that's on spot or doing my bot trading. So we'll have a look at those as well. So first of all, we're going to look at Bitcoin, obviously. So at the moment, Bitcoin's still bumping its head against this resistance zone. This resistance leading up to basically the all-time high where it ends, and then from that area, the 20,000 psychological number, and if that breaks, then I would imagine that there would be some super longs be hit at that level, and that will push it massively, skyrocketing it, maybe even by a few thousand. And then at that point, because it's a blue sky breakout, it will continue until it stops. There's no real end to it. I would imagine maybe perhaps maybe even as much as $5,000, and then it will come crashing back down, because there will be a point where there will be a rejection, and then the bears will get hold of it. But for the moment, we're that's just speculative. We are at resistance, but the resistance, at the moment isn't, even though it's very strong, we're not finding massive rejections from there. So Bitcoin buying pressure looking good. We're looking at the daily here. Pretty much the bearish divergence has been cancelled out at this stage now on the RSI, and the MACD is turning up slowly but nicely. I imagine that the 4-hourly and all other time frames are probably going to be looking pretty good on that as well. 4-hourly, there might be a risk of a bit of a pullback, but I would imagine this pullback gets bought straight back up, and if we break down below areas even as high as 19,300, then we might have a bit more of a pullback, but I'd be surprised to see a breakdown much further than there. And if it were to, as maybe 19,000 tops, it probably get bought straight back up. If we're having a look here at the longs versus the shorts for the retailers, they're very high. They are very high, and they've not really gone below around 73 these last couple of days. So a lot of people still long on this. It would take a monumental dip to liquidate a lot of those people, and I think a lot of people are pretty much expecting this to move up, holding on to those longs for dear life. So really, I would say that Bitcoin has every chance now of making that breakout. But I would be careful, and I certainly wouldn't really want to take a long at resistance. It would be a silly area to go long on. I also don't feel like going short here either, because the shorts would be relatively small. So in my personal opinion, I think it does go up and break out of here. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow, but at some point this week, I think we're looking for that breakout. So in many ways, it's worth going long on dips, really, because the inevitable move to the up looks likely. And I've been trading a lot of traditional markets as well, so Nasdaq, I've been long on that for the last 3 days on Bityard, and doing some other commodities traded as well, because they look a little bit more they don't move, well actually they've moved bigger than Bitcoin over these last few days, but they're a bit more predictable at the moment. So if you fancy doing any of that, there's links for Bityard below. Trading in cryptocurrency with traditional markets, as well as all the crypto pairs you can imagine as well. But nevertheless, Bitcoin's still at this resistance. We have to respect the fact that it is at resistance, but if there is pullbacks here, they don't look like they're going to be significant. The longs are certainly at the moment stacking up, and they're stacking up quite well. So let's have a look at XRP. So XRP came down pretty much to not just hit but surpass our low target of 45.5 cents, and isn't really looking to get bought back up at that level either. The money flow index is looking relatively interesting. I would say that this is getting ready for a buy, but not yet. Again, on this chart, I would like to see it come down, and I've been saying this, I would like to see it come down to reaccumulate on this 200 exponential. That is very far away at the moment, but we are consolidating massively. Let's have a look at this. This is kind of playing out very much like I expected. So 43% retracement, almost 44% retracement so far, from that very top there all the way down to where it's likely to be. It's a 60% retracement. So people might think, XRP done it again. Look, yeah, of course. Of course it has, and this is what I've been saying to people since before this move. This move happened before I expected it to. Now I did, tell everybody that there was a signal on the weekly, and some of us have got involved on that and rode this one up 100%. But that signal that I showed everybody was a weekly signal. That means that from that point forward, if you were to buy there, it was very likely to continue up for the rest of the year. It is a weekly signal, and it was lucky for us that maybe I think it was 2 or 3 days later it started to moon, and that's all good, and that's great. In fact, it's great for all of us because most of us benefited from that on this channel and on the Telegram because of that signal. But it wasn't like. That signal doesn't mean that it's going to hold its value all the time. What it means is that from that level, it's a relatively safe area to buy from, and for a long-term hold. And also, if we look at the way that it's been moving, and we go back in time, we have stair steps down, massive sort of stair steps down, and pumps and rejections. So now what we're having is we're having stair steps up, okay, and this is going to continue, I would imagine, for the rest of the year. But as you can see with these moves, all the way down with a big move up, all the way down, big move up, all the way down, big move up, all the way down, big move up, down, and then we finally broke out with the consolidation, and then we have a big move up, consolidation again, big move up, and now we're going to have consolidation again. And this is basically the way it's going to go. Look at this like a heartbeat monitor. This is basically what it is. It's just going to be like that, okay, and it's going to continue like that for the rest of the year, and that's a good thing because that's what we like with the chart. A lot of people think that there's no rhythm to this, but there is absolutely rhythm to XRP. There's certain absolutely is definitely rhythm to this chart, which is why I like it. But you have to look at it on a long-term basis. You can't look at it on the short terms, but on the long term, I would say this is one of the most predictable charts that you can trade, and at the moment everything's looking very good, and it's playing out exactly the way I expected it to. You have to check out my market cycle video on XRP, and you should hopefully come away from that realizing that actually this is playing out. And I made that video months and months ago, when I said that XRP will come back to life. It's doing its market cycle and it's playing out perfectly, although it being a little bit early, but that's fine. If it wants to pump earlier than I expected, that's fine. I wasn't expecting pumps until January to at least May, and by then it will certainly be really pumping at that point. That's when it will really start to come to life. These moments now, yeah, they're good, but again, a little early for the market cycle. It's not quite its time to really start to pump, and that's fine. So if we do come back all the way down to, what would that be, 31, 32, that would be fine, because this is the areas that I thought this little move would come up to. I didn't think it would go much higher than that, and obviously relatively happy that it did. But that's the deal with XRP, so don't get worried about it. This is exactly what we want from it, and it's playing out exactly how I expected it. So coming back down, perhaps maybe even down to 32, and it's perfectly fine. I'm not upset in any way about that. And in all fairness, if Bitcoin decides to pump and then does that dump like I expect it to do, then I don't think XRP is going to rally if Bitcoin rallies. I do think it will dump if Bitcoin dumps. So coming back down to around 31, 32, that is absolutely possible. Absolutely possible. Let's have a look at Ethereum. So essentially doing what Bitcoin does, copying it to an extent, and in fact it's showing a little bit more weakness now. So Bitcoin, I suppose, being the stronger asset to trade in at this very moment in time. When we're looking at it, Ethereum it's done its thing, and it's just mimicking Bitcoin, and that's fine. The daily's not in any way near as strong, and actually looking at this, I wouldn't say that's by bearish divergence. It's just consolidation. So this is consolidation or reaccumulation, but the good thing is that we are above the 10 exponential, being held up there on these last 3 days. But again, nothing special, nothing significant. If Bitcoin rallies, Ethereum will be carried with that. But at the moment, there has been, I wouldn't call it rotation, I'd just call it certain charts forming really good patterns, and we're going to look at those now. So Ethereum, neither here nor there, just going to copy Bitcoin. These are the ones that I've been most interested in. So we bought back into this around 35. So we had a double bottom here, 1, 2. This was I suppose our buy zones. The ultimate buy zones could have led us all the way down to here, and that again, those areas can still be met. These are still buy zones. There's nothing to say that we will not come down to these levels again. We certainly could, especially if Bitcoin decides to pump and then dump significantly, and it would be a significant dump in my opinion. That probably would cause the short-term bear market that we've been looking for on this channel. So these are still buy zones, but for the moment we've had a significant rally since the double bottom. We've moved up 32% in just a few days. Really good move from Ocean. Personally, I think we are getting rejection. We're not closing above this green 50 exponential as of yet. We're beneath this cloud, and let's have a look. The Ichimoku cloud is still negative, so this was the sell signal here. We don't yet have that buy signal. Until we get that buy signal, I don't think we're looking to make a new high on this one anytime soon, but it is good to see that this, out of many of the coins that are on Binance, is one of the ones that has been pumping. So I am right to focus in on this token here. This is definitely something to watch, and something to for me to continue to put my money in at these lows, because it's a very small chart, but actually the way it reacts is very positive. It's one of the stronger ones despite the chart being small. I have looked at the overall chart on is it Bittrex, I think it was, and I did a bit of analysis on that on my own spare time, not on the channel. And when it comes to the Sats pairing, there is a chance that it's bottomed on the Sats pairing. It was resting on the 200 exponential. So it could move indefinitely against Bitcoin from this bottom level here on its Sats. So this could have been the bottom, and if with the Satoshi pairing, if you were to buy both Bitcoin and Ocean, when Ocean hit this level, there is a chance, according to that chart, maybe I'll do a video on that separately, that this will continue to rally harder than Bitcoin, because that was its bottom level. There's a few other tokens like that, but this one, like I say, it's a very short, small a chart to look at on Binance. Sorry, I can't get my words out. One other good thing though is that as of today we've found support above the center of the Bollinger Band. So again, this is a good area. So I would expect to see the trading range as of today between as low as 42.8 cent and we call it 45 cent. That would be the trading range. There's a 5% trading range today. Whichever area decides to break first should tell us which way it's going to go in the next short term. But long term, I have very high hopes for this token, and we've also got our positive cross there. Money flow index is trickling up ever so slightly. It's a low cap coin, but it's not very low, but it is low cap, so it can obviously move with the market quite dramatically. So just because it's moved up 30% in the last few days doesn't mean that it can't move down 30% in the next few days. It definitely could. Holochain. So this is an interesting token. This is one we like to look at. So what we've found in Holochain is that there has been a descending channel essentially on the daily. Descending channels often do break to the up, I should mention, where there is also this area of support which has now become resistance. So we are basically in this, I suppose, like a diamond shape area of support and resistance. We're looking for it to break out on this one, basically. Now, if we go to the weekly, what we see on the weekly is some pretty interesting stuff. Unfortunately, we've broken down again beneath the center of this Bollinger Band, so that's the 20 weekly moving average. Breaking down beneath there isn't so good. But for me personally, I'm doing this on bot trading, so I'm bot trading this against Binance token. Just to accumulate lots of Binance coins, really, just to offset my trades for the rest of the bots that I've set up and I plan to set up. So this one is basically earning me the fees that I spent during that process of bot trading. If you are interested in bot trading, I've got some videos, some tutorials, and I would definitely suggest you check them out. And even if you're not doing bot trading, I always say to people, use my Binance link. It gives you 20% of your fees back in reimbursement. You're probably paying full fees, I would imagine, if you set a Binance account up without some kind of special referral link. My referral link will give you 20% off all your fees in the form of a reimbursement that takes place pretty much a 24-hour period after. Now, you might be thinking, oh, I've already got a Binance account. That's fine. You can set up as many Binance accounts as you like. Just use a new email address. You don't need to verify it any further than that. And just save yourself some money, especially if you're bot trading, where your bot is making multiple trades in a day, sometimes even hundreds. You want to try and save as much money on your fees. But even if you're just spot trading, why pay more? Do you know what I mean? Why pay more? If you're trading $1,000, then you might as well get 20% of that fee back. So it's a significant amount, and it'll all add up if you're trading. Anyway, that's enough about that. So Holochain, I suppose, it does look like it wants to move on the weekly. I am very confident that this will move in next, by January. There's going to be a lot of these tokens are coming through these big clouds like this, but for the moment it's a sideways movement, and that's what we like when we're bot trading. We want sideways because the bot can trade within a nice range, basically buying and selling all these dips and pumps, and like I say, so far it's been pretty good to me. I'm about 10% up now in the space of 5 days. Anyway, FET. This one I am very, very, very keen on. This one looking great on the daily, coming out of this itchy cloud a little earlier than I expected, but looking to make some decent moves. The MACD turning up on the daily, RSI getting a little high, but that's no problem. And if we go back in time, let's have a look at some of these moves that we're looking to trade. Absolutely phenomenal moves, and I would expect these highs to be taken out again. So from the area that we're at right now, back up to that all-time high. Well, that's not the all-time high, but the last pump, 245 move. Now we have now got the freedom, almost now got the freedom to move if we were to break above here. Now this is a daily chart, so we're talking just a few more days and this area will be freed up, ready to move. Okay, we are above the 100 exponential moving average as of this moment in time, but the way that this is going, we're going to get our golden crosses. We're going to be above the cloud. We don't have the fresh itchy cloud cross yet. That's going to take a little while to have. In fact, we have a negative one here, but that's only on the daily. Let's have a look on the weekly for what it's worth. Weekly, again, very much like Holochain, we're looking to move into January to clear this area. So in January, I'd expect a lot of these altcoins are going to move phenomenally. So you could class where we are at right now, some of these alts, as technically quite low in comparison to where they're going to be in the next couple of months. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, this is not financial advice, but this is the way that I'm viewing the market at the moment. A lot of these coins have rallied massively. Bitcoin has basically taken the lead. All these coins have gone down in price, but next year will be the big year. The big crypto year is 2021. This is the year that we've all been waiting for, and I've been making a variety of different strategies, whether that's bot trading, spot trading, margin trading, and all three combined basically. And also, if you are interested in bot trading, they're going to be introducing a futures trading bot in the next week or two. So you can't really go wrong with that. I mean, our bot trading has been phenomenal. It's been really good. So I'm very, very happy to see that this release of the bot trading for futures trades are going to come out. So if I can make 10% on a token like Holochain over a couple of days, just with the grid trades with the bots, can you imagine how profitable the bot is going to be when it has access to leverage? It's going to be phenomenal. Set yourself an account up. It's free to set up. You can trial it for 14 days. If you want to continue thereafter, then obviously you can pay for it, but obviously there's no obligation, and I suggest you really do look into it, because we've been making an enormous amount of money, most of us, the bots basically always make us money. Join on my Telegram, you'll see everybody's showing their profits on a daily basis now, and it's not unusual for some of these guys to be making over 10, sometimes 20% in a day. It really has been very good to us, and I imagine when the futures trading is available for bots, which maybe even as soon as next week, our profits are going to go through the roof. Anyway, so that is FET, and that is basically all the tokens I've got for you. So for a quick look at how these longs and shorts are shaping up, so they're down a little bit, but this is still massive. Until we break down below, and I always have this rule, which is below 66%, then we're not looking for any kind of dump. This is basically just people skimming, taking profits, scalping basically. The longs going up and down above 70 is still very bullish. If we broke down below 70% long on the retail market, then maybe we can consider targets to the down. But for the moment, you know, it's being propped up very heavily with these longs, and I don't see us breaking down at this point, even though we are at resistance. We've been at this resistance 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, and now we're finally in it again. It's the first time we've actually started to open within this resistance zone. The more times you either hit a resistance or you hit a support, the more likely it is that you either break out or break down from it. So it is looking very good at the moment, but again, we are at resistance. Taking longs from here would be a bit dangerous. Also, taking shorts from here would be very dangerous. Personally, I would be, if I have the time and the opportunity, I'd be looking to maybe go long at breaking out, so trading a little bit of a breakout, and then maybe reassessing if we start to break down and looking at lower targets, depending on the state of the market, how many longs versus shorts, and where they've stacked from. Anyway, I'll leave it with you there. That's quite a long video, I appreciate that, but like I say, follow me on YouTube, like the video, join the Telegram, and set up some of these accounts, especially the Binance one, which is going to save you some money. The bot one, the bot trading, is going to make you some money, and like I say, I'll see you in the Telegram. Thanks for watching, take it easy.